So can I just get you to say your name?
Tina Uzmiani.
Okay, Tina. Are you a Facebook user?
I have a Facebook account, but to be honest, I don't really use it a lot. I check in and every morning to see what's going on. But because I Facebook for the libraries, my time is pretty much spent on that. So I'm not a Facebook user. To answer your question, no.
So Facebook is making the big push to Timeline, which they've kind of been teasing for quite some time, but
Right.
the countdown is on. Have you taken a look at Facebook Timeline?
I've looked at it very briefly when they first made the announcement, but I haven't kind of checked in recently. Have they made any sort of further changes to their original plan, or is it pretty much what it looked like then?
I think it's pretty much what it looks like then, but
Okay.
it's D-Day.
Okay. Ooh.
About maybe in about a week and a
Okay.
half, everyone's switching over.
Okay.
So just with Facebook always changing, how does that affect you as a user?
Well, I try to keep up with the changes. It really, so far, it hasn't really had a major effect on the way I produce stuff on Facebook or post on Facebook because I'm basically posting for the libraries, and I tend to have a pretty consistent way of doing that. I haven't really seen any major changes except what has changed for me is the insight. So from an administrator's point of view, of administrating like a page, a Facebook page, I'm getting a lot more like back-end information about our users, where they're coming from, who they are, the demographics. The insights have changed, and so I kind of like that side of it. The front end, I'm not really it hasn't affected the way I'm interacting with Facebook at this point. We'll see what happens next week.
So obviously, while you're using it for work, you probably hear comments about Facebook, and
Oh yeah.
especially when it changes. So,
Oh yeah.
how much do you enjoy that?
Well, luckily those comments aren't directed at me personally, so I'm basically just getting a sense of what the groundswell is out there. And people really, it's funny because we're so used to adapting to change, and yet when we get something like Facebook, we just want it to be an old familiar friend and stay the same. That's the impression I get from the comments I'm reading. That people, it just irritates them when they keep making changes. They're not always necessarily changes for the better from the user's perspective. And I think people are still a little bit resistant to making changes to something that they use on such a regular basis every day. So it's a question of making adaptations.
Great. Anything else you care to add?
Well, I'm just curious to see what the whole timeline thing is going to be about. We'll see what happens when it comes down the pike next week.